Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you are in the world. I hope you've had a good week, and welcome to today's sharing of Harmonize to Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. I'm a practitioner of the art of JIN SHIN JYUTSU, have been so for several years, and I enjoy sharing aspects of self-help and philosophy around JIN SHIN JYUTSU, the philosophy that was brought to the West by Mary Burmeister back in the 1970s from her teacher, Master Jerome Morai. Now, JIN SHIN JYUTSU was given various names by Master Morai before we settled on the art of compassion. And basically what we're talking about here is harmonizing life energy as it moves congruently or not through our bodies. And it does so by moving through energy pathways, which are governed or controlled, if you like, by what we call safety energy locks. And there's 26 of them left and right of our spines, and 3 in the arms, part of that 26. Similar to acupuncture, they allow more energy to travel through in a congruent way when those pathways are blocked. But different to acupuncture, they're much larger. These safety energy locks are the size or the width of the palm of our individual hand, so they're unique to us. Whereas in acupuncture, of course, they use these very thin needles and they bullseye like a pinprick. But the effect can be amazingly powerful, and lots of friends of mine who have studied acupuncture and then come across JIN SHIN JYUTSU have either blended it with their work or acknowledged that there are insights that they've read from JIN SHIN JYUTSU which add and amplify their own wisdom and knowledge. Mark Hovis, I don't know if Mark's here today, but Mark's a particular acupuncturist who has blended JIN SHIN JYUTSU with acupuncture. In fact, I think I'm right in saying that Mark actually learned JIN SHIN before. But anyway, here we are, and we're moving towards the season of winter, and we're moving towards discovering, researching, reviewing the bladder flow from the self-help book 1 that Mary Burmeister published. And for those of you that don't have a copy, you can go on the JIN SHIN Inc., JSJINC website, and you can order a copy there, or you can download an ebook. But anyway, for now, for today, we will actually practice it. So for those of you that are completely new, this is your opportunity to actually view it and actually experience it. Now, I mentioned winter because the water element, which the bladder is part of with its brother or sister kidney, one is known as a more yin energy or body, which is the kidney, and one's more yang, which is hollow, which is the bladder. They work together, they connect together at the little toe, and they provide a form of janitorization, if you like. They're part of the janitors of the body, which cleanse us. They help us release toxins. And similarly to the stomach flow combined with bladder, it's doing the cleaning. It's helping us clean our act up. Stomach flow, if you remember, I mentioned, has the most issues related to it of any other organ function energy. Most projects, Mary would use the word, rather than problems. And the bladder flow is the longest organ function flow in the body. There's in fact 3 lines of the bladder, and they go down the back, all the way down to the little toe, where they meet the kidney, which goes up the front. The water element by nature tends to flow down in opposition to the fire element that moves energy up. But we need both. And in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, we talk at the unmanifest level of energy moving up the back, which is primal fire, 6th step, in order to go down the front. And that is assisted by the water element. So without further ado, we'll have a look at the diagram, the map of the JIN SHIN JYUTSU self-help bladder flow, and then we'll practice it using the 36 breaths. And for those of you who are not familiar, this is a practice that Mary Burmeister, the teacher of JIN SHIN JYUTSU, introduced to help us understand how energy denses down from subtler layers to more dense layers, but in a structured way based on numerology. Because a 3 and a 6 adds up to 9, and 9 in numerology means ending of the cycle, beginning of a new. So each time we breathe out and breathe in over a period of 9, we are beginning a new cycle. We are replenishing and moving our energy to the next level. So let's just have a look at the map. Let's make sure I can let you all see that. So there it is. I wonder why that's blocking. I don't know why. Huh. That's weird. I don't know what's going on there. When that stuff happens, it's always interesting. Where'd it go? Oh, there it went. I don't understand why this is happening. Strange. If I can move this away. I don't know what's going on here. Come back, all is forgiven. Anyway, can everyone see that? There is a map of the bladder flow there. It's, for those of you that got self-help book 1, on page 49. So it's basically showing you the hand positions for the bladder flow. There's 4 of them, which is convenient because we can then subdivide our 36 breaths into 4 sets of 9, holding each position. And we're going to start on the right side. You could start on the left. There's a separate diagram in the book. But the right side is what Mary would say, the flows on the right side represent how we are right now. So I always like to demonstrate the connection to where we are right now, and then allow the energy to move by placing our hands on the various safety energy locks that constitute the bladder flow. Now, in this particular map and in the book, Mary doesn't call it the bladder flow, she calls it the posterior descending down the back of the body energy. Don't be put off by that. I haven't heard a particular reason why she chose to describe it anatomically, but for those of you that like anatomy, posterior means behind the back. So what we're going to do, I'll just run through the positions. You place your left hand on the right side of your neck, which is actually safety energy lock 12. And for those of you that are new, go into your cervical vertebrae, then move out, and you can find a couple of tendons there. Between the tendons is one area which you could say is the safety energy lock 12 bullseye point, but it covers the whole area of your palm, the width of your palm. So no need to be overzealous about it. Just find an area there which may or may not feel tender, but just place your hand there, palm of the hand there. And then the right hand is going to go on your coccyx, which is your tailbone. And then the left hand remains as the anchor throughout this flow, and you're only moving the right hand. And the next position after the coccyx is the back of the knee, back of the right knee, where that cross is on the diagram. And again, you can find some tendons in the center of the back of the knee. Place your fingers in between there, or the palm of your hand, or the back of your hand, or your thumb, which is ever comfortable, whichever is comfortable. And then we move again with the anchor on the side of the neck to the exterior calcaneus, or underneath the ankle bone, exterior ankle bone there. You see that cross, safety energy lock 16. The middle, by the way, of the knee is safety energy lock 8. And then we go to the little toe. And that completes the bladder flow. And we're going to do that with the breathing. So let us begin. Your left hand again is on that right side of your neck, and your right hand is going to go on the coccyx or tailbone. And then as much as possible, relax the arm so that the shoulder doesn't feel any extra stress. And we're going to breathe out and allow energy, which in this case, we're talking about energy moving through safety energy lock 4, which is the occiput, down the front of the body through safety energy lock 15, which is the hip line, to the big toe. And then from the big toe back up through the hip, 15 and 2, back to the 4, in an oval. And this oval spirals in a clockwise direction. And imagine as you're exhaling, no particular way of breathing here, whatever comes natural to you. And there are all kinds of different ways of in through the nose, out through the mouth, whatever is comfortable for you. But we're beginning with an exhale. And we're allowing that energy to come down the front of the body from the 4 to the 15, to the 7 and back again, in the bigger scheme of things. But segmented at a different level is the bladder level, and the organ function level. That energy is also releasing the hands over the 12 and the hand over the coccyx. So here we go. Let's breathe out and in 9 times. The energy moves through the safety energy locks all the way down to the feet, connects to the earth beneath. And then we receive the breath as it moves up the back. And at this point, we could feel the connection with our hand at the coccyx and our hand at safety energy lock 12. Because these safety energy locks sit on the back. 8 more times. We're letting go of all that we don't need in order to allow the energy to flow. Let go to flow. As it reaches the big toe and beyond, it's replenished, rejuvenated, regenerated via cosmic purified energy, 360 degrees, cleaning and purifying up the back in order to release the first part of the bladder flow and cleanse and purify the spine. As we release and receive, sooner or later, sometimes later, we'll feel a pulsation at the side of the neck and the coccyx, which is the same as the pulsation, the blood pulse that you would feel at the radial artery. At the emotional level, the water element, bladder flow, kidney, are releasing our fears. Mary would call it false evidence appearing real, our illusions, washing away. And the more we wash away our fears, the clearer our mind becomes, clearer our heart becomes, and we allow truth to reveal itself rather than illusion. Now, although Mary said in her later books that fear takes more lives than any other kind of project, she was not telling us to ignore discernment, caution. Of course, we need to discriminate. It's when our mind adds to that discrimination unnecessary anxiety, which becomes a habit and clouds our judgment. That's what we're releasing. Keep the discernment. Let go of the woe, the fear. This anchoring on safety energy lock 12 is interesting because we're talking about the polarity of my will versus the will of the cosmic intelligence. And often that creates the static when we go against being in flow that can in turn create the illusions. When we connect to the flow and clear our heart and mind, we see things a lot clearer. And then we may notice that the things we were fearful about no longer causes any kind of concern, or at least it's reduced. Don't worry if you're not feeling any pulsations at the neck and the tailbone. It will come at its own time. As the blockages release and transform, the blood pulse can be heard. The blood pulse is actually following the energy pulse, but that's what we're actually hearing first. As soon as the energy is moving congruently, the blood will flow congruently. And of course, the blood carries all those vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, and all those good things that help replenish our cells and therefore our organs. If you're feeling any resistance to letting go, just emphasize the exhale more. I mean, it is the first movement in these practices, but most of us are not used to letting go first. We're used to taking in. It's a new habit, but make it a regular habit, and then it becomes easier. All right, when you've completed the 9 exhalation inhalations, just stay with how you feel in the present moment. Notice how your body is feeling. Maybe that you noticed that there was, in certain areas of the body, a little more tension than others. Certainly between the neck and the coccyx, you might have noticed something. And how connected did you feel to the ground beneath? Because if energy can't release there, it can't really create or manifest anything new. Now ground, connect to the ground. Now the next safety energy lock which we hold, we remain holding the side of the neck with the left hand. The next one is at the back of the knee. So for those of you that aren't new, it's just between the tendons at the back of the knee. Hold with your fingers, thumb or whatever. And begin 9 exhalation inhalations again. Here we go. So even though you might have to make an effort to exhale, when you inhale, it's a gentle receiving, a gentle receptivity. Letting go in order to grow something fresh. And then inhaling to clean once more, clean out channels. The bladder flow is helping us relax our muscles, muscular tension. And as that tension releases, we may even feel sleepy for a little while afterwards. Well, winter is the time of hibernation. And the organ function energy of kidney and bladder are governed, or at least more accurately, are more activated in the season of winter. So we may feel like hibernating. During winter, it's a little cooler temperature-wise, but the kidneys and bladder like warmth. So for those of you that are nutritionally minded, you might want to add some ginger to your diet to keep those organs functioning smoothly through the winter season. Of course, that's true of our hemisphere, but in Australia, they're about to embark on their summer. So the reverse is also true. My metabolic rate is different to yours. You may have finished before me. It's okay. Just remain relaxing. And you can place your hands in your lap if this is not what you feel comfortable with. Continue to hold. All right, so having completed my 9 exhalation inhalations, I'm just going to witness or observe how I'm feeling at this particular moment in time. What kind of connection I've made between the safety energy locks. Now, the next step requires moving further down the leg to the outside ankle bone. And for a lot of us, that's a little tricky. So a shortcut or a way around that is to take your hand away from the side of the right side of the neck and place it on the right side underneath the rib cage. All right. This represents, or a mirror of safety energy lock 12, in that in the subdivision of bust line, waistline, and hip line, the 14s and the 12s represent moving energy through the waistline. So you can do that and then go to the next safety energy lock 16 on the outside of the foot underneath the ankle bone there. And we'll hold these safety energy locks for 9 exhalation inhalations. Here we go. So we're washing away all those fears as much as we can. And maybe, because it's the water element, some tears may show up, may emerge. And that's totally fine. Often really tight backs will release, because all the muscles of the back where the bladder line is, will release with tears. That's a good thing. Allow it to happen. A lot of back issues are to do with blocked bladder flow, generally. So we're letting go and feeling our connection beneath our feet to the earth and receiving cosmic purified energy up, and of course through the bladder pathway too, all the way back up to safety engine lock 4 in order to go back down. Because the muscles tend to hold a lot of tension, maybe some old memories will come to the surface. Maybe some memories that were not terrifically pleasant, were a little challenging. It's okay. Just breathe them out, let them go, and receive the new, fresh, purifying energy. What we hold on to may have a hold on us. So we need to discern what we're holding on to. We need to sift through all that. Let go of that which no longer serves. Receive that which does. And the cosmic purified energy is light. And it's breathing into our cells, harmonizing and rejuvenating, strengthening. And then when you come to the ninth exhalation, inhalation again, slip into a neutral zone. Just notice how you feel. Maybe the pathway feels a lot clearer now, meaning from neck to little toe, or maybe it doesn't. Or maybe it's segments of it, different portions of that flow feel a lot freer than others. That's fine. At least you know which way you need to go. So the last step of the flow is your little toe. So you're going to hold your right hand onto your right little toe whilst holding, probably more comfortable to hold that right 14, or if you can, the right 12. And if you're a yoga adept, you can probably cross your legs and hold the little toe. Once upon a time, I used to be able to do that. Not so much these days. Anyway, 9 exhalation, inhalations. Just letting go of what you don't need and bringing in what you do. Some of us, that little toe might feel tender. Well, that's a transition point for for kidney and bladder. And there may be some crystals there that need dissolving. But it feels very good once they do dissolve and transform. So again, when you reach the 9th cycle there, we've done a total of 36 breaths. We've moved through cycles of 9, each allowing us to step into a new dimension, a new frequency and vibration of energy. So see how you feel. You can relax at this point. Just place your hand in the 15s, which allow our hearts to be filled with joy and laughter, and also allow regeneration flows up the body, which kidney is one of. The water element again. How did that feel? Were you able to sense a connection between the energy locks or not? It's okay, it gives you an idea of where you may have to consider practicing again. Did you feel some fears, some illusions beginning to dissolve? Did you feel peace of mind? Did your heart feel peaceful? All these experiences are unique to you at any one time. Okay, Diana, great. Yeah, when we feel anxious or fearful about anything, my bladder is gladder. Thank you, David. Yeah, when we feel extra fearful or cautious about something, these flows can be the antidote. And of course, the simple finger holds related to them, like in this case, the index finger, you could hold too if it's not comfortable to be able to do a bladder flow. And by the way, you can do these flows sitting, standing, or laying down. I think with flows like the bladder, it's easier to do it laying down overall, but whatever is appropriate at the time for you. And remember that it's a journey. It's not about feeling perfectly fearless. It's a journey to peacefulness. And at that point, some might say the peace that passeth all understanding, which in other words goes beyond our mind and all the fears that grip our heart. It's a journey. And we do a little bit each day on our journey. Sometimes if we do these flows at the time of day when they are accentuated, and in JIN SHIN JYUTSU, the bladder flow is accentuated between the hours of 4 and 6 p.m. And sometimes even the opposite time of day, between 4 and 6 p.m. in the morning as opposed to, sorry, 4 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning as opposed to 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. There can be a mutual effect on those organs. So experiment. And most of all, I would say, don't square your head. Do the flows that appeal to you in the moment. And, you know, sometimes those of you that have studied JIN SHIN JYUTSU can read your own pulses and give you some clues. But generally speaking, you'll feel the emotion related to a flow, or you'll feel tightness in an area related to the flows, gives you enough clues that maybe that's worthwhile. Or you may decide it's the season of winter, I'm just going to do anything I can to support the kidney and bladder meridians. All right, so hopefully you're all rested, relaxed, the muscles are less tense if they were. And we reached that point now. Oh, it's early days. It's only 12:43. Does anyone have a birthday or had a birthday this week who'd like to receive a group blessing, if you want to put it that way, a group jumper cabling?
Terry?
Oh, Lynn, you raised your hand.
Yes. Diana had a question in the chat. Back of knee, same side as neck.
I can't hear what you're saying. It's blurred. You said Diane said something in the chat.
Yeah, Terry, I was wondering on the flow, if the neck hold is opposite of the coccyx, the knee, and the toe, or,
Same side.
oh, all right, so then I'm not putting my hand far enough in the back then.
It's just to the side. Find your cervical vertebrae and then just move out to the tendons.
Gotcha. So I kind of did it wrong, but I still feel better.
You know, were you holding the right side?
Yeah, but I think my fingers were probably wrapped around enough.
Oh, you know what? Your intention was to go there, yes.
Yeah.
And the size of the safety energy lock is the width, the diameter of the palm of your hand. So you got it.
Okay.
Did you feel a pulse? The pulsation?
Yeah, and especially when I moved the hand to behind the knee, because I tend to get kidney stones, and that's an accumulation. And then when I feel like I think about letting go, I felt a lot on that position, especially.
Yeah, safety energy lock A there also sits on the large intestine flow, so it's all about letting go. So yeah, you discovered something that's very valuable to you.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it might be a flow that you can utilize much more, you know, as a general everyday flow. I mean, Mary included the flows in the self-help books, particularly self-help book 1, that she felt done on a regular basis would completely keep us in harmony. In fact, I think I heard someone say once that if you did all the flows in self-help book 1, you're good to go. Self-help book 2 and 3 expanded upon the wisdom of JIN SHIN JYUTSU and gave you insights into the safety energy locks and the opposite fingers and toes and whatnot. But the self-help book 1, because it included cleansing flows like stomach and bladder and spleen for the digestion, and the main central and the mediator at the unmanifest level, you really had the cleaners and builders. You had both.
I like that, the cleaners and builders. I have to drag that book out because I'm realizing there's a difference between being sentimental, scrapbooking, holding memories, and just hoarding memories and thoughts and fears. So I'm working on cleaning and building something new.
Yeah, and you know, you're not alone. I think the vast majority of us, educationally, we're not taught about the value of letting go of things. We kind of come upon it through struggle, usually, some kind of challenge in our life. Our body tenses up and, you know, things go a little bit out of balance. And then we get education through experience, and then we maybe come across modalities like JIN SHIN JYUTSU, which give us a framework to begin to release those tensions. I think more and more physicians are embracing these complementary modalities, because more and more physicians are realizing that probably 80 to 90% of people's ill health starts with emotional imbalances. And of course, JIN SHIN JYUTSU can give us tracks to move through those, through the attitudes. And Mary would say that if someone who was receiving JIN SHIN JYUTSU wasn't able to harmonize after maybe 3 to 6 treatments, then we were looking at an attitude issue. We were looking at worry, fear, anger, sadness, or try to in excess. So then we would look at maybe the mediator flow or the flows that harmonize the specific attitude. So you're not alone, and we've got the tools. And the thing that we humans need to probably do a lot more, including myself, is discipline ourselves enough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is simple stuff, because if we don't do the flow, we got the fingers, right? And
Yes.
you know, we remember we segment the fingers into bust line, waistline, hip line, and we find which part is tender, and we work away there, and that can be just as effective. So, and for those of you that have lost a digit here and there, which may happen, the energy is there in what is sometimes described as the etheric web. That's the unmanifest energy which the matter clings to, which forms the body. The energy, the soul of the organ is there. So even if you don't have your index finger, the energy is there. And so you can often feel the energy around the finger. If you don't have that finger, you'll just feel an energetic, a sense of that energy where that finger would have been more manifest, if I'm making sense. So okay, before we do the healing blessings, let's just have a quick look, see if my share screen will work any better. I think there's some courses coming up which some of you may be interested in. Yeah, there it is. Coming up on Saturday, and I think Debbie is with us. Debbie Rappaport will be hosting Susie Plattner, the newest JIN SHIN JYUTSU instructor, exploring the depths, the dynamic story of creation, and it's going to be at 2 p.m. And it's something that you might all want to register for. There's all the information, and there you can register today. Susie, I have found to be a very clear, informative instructor, and so I think you may find it very enjoyable. Oh, that was Sarah. She's already done her Simply Self-Help. That was Wednesday. Oh, and here's Susie again. Let's put a plug in for this one. February the 17th to 22nd. This is an online 5-day basic seminar. All the information is there. This is on the jsjinc.net website, by the way. There is another website, which I'll show you in a minute, where some of these classes are advertised too. But this class is coming up. So if you want to do a 5-day class first time or review, you could do this. All the information, yeah, I'm organizing, and co-organizing is Lisa Sweezy from San Diego. You can register today. Yeah. And huh. Interesting. No, never mind. I don't know what's happening with the sharing. So yeah, Saturday, 2 o'clock New York time, Debbie will be hosting. So if you want to register, go to theink.net or the JIN SHIN JYUTSU soulmindbody.com, I think it is, website. They've also been advertising it too. All right, back to us. Has anyone got a birthday that they'd like to share with us and receive a blessing? Or has anyone got a project that they particularly want to work on even more? And we can join hands and hearts together and offer a blessing. Nobody? Nobody at all?
Maybe
All
we
right.
do a group healing.
Yeah, well, that's what it's going to be. We're all just going to join hands and, well, thumbs and little fingers. Just connect here and just sit up as straight as you can. And if any of you were a little shy there and you really wanted to receive, just place your hands in the receptive mode in your 15s. But otherwise, we're going to do this. Thumb to thumb, little fingers, or you can keep them apart. Often the most healing happens in the space between us. And we're going to close our eyes and allow the jumper cable energy, which comes in our solar plexus and goes up front of our arms and down the back and across and crosses over. We're going to allow that jumper cable energy to leave us and connect with all these circle that are here today, the group that are here today, to help us harmonize one stage further. Why not? The more we can harmonize, the merrier life could be. So just connect and then just allow energy to move through the palms, fingers, fingertips, and connect, feel that connection if you can to everyone in the group who's here on the Zoom today. And just allow that energy to come through you to go to everybody. Sometimes it helps to focus on the heart, as a calm heart often signifies calm emotions, which often signify the body is in balance. But just allow and see what happens, let the energy go where it needs to go. And we'll begin. Let it flow. Feel your connection with the group. So that intention. And if you need a focusing mantra, it could be, show me the harmony. Show me the harmony. And as the energy spirals around the group, be aware of how much you're allowing or how much you may be trying to control. The jumper cable energy is all about allowing energy to flow through you to the other person or persons. And then it naturally flows back in a loop. We don't need to control it. We can support it by where we place our hands and what our intention is to harmonize, but we don't control it. Control, I believe, is really based ultimately in some kind of fear. That is to say, excessive control. Trust. That's the key. All right, so we can just allow the energy to withdraw and then just gently maybe place the palms of our hands together like this, connecting left and right of our body to our spine, to the oneness. And maybe gently say thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, all of you, for showing up today and sharing the bladder flow. And I want to wish you all a harmonious rest of the day and rest of the week. I will be here next Friday, same time, close to the festive period, of course. And I don't know if I'll have a guest or not, but we'll certainly practice allowing the energy to open our hearts, to bring in the season of celebration at whatever level you see it at. And we'll just receive the messages that we need to receive for this time of year. All right, I'm just going to stop the recording.